I'm Loretta Eichard, Letters Chairman for the Modesto branch of the National League of American Penwomen. The NLAPW is an organization of professional women artists, composers, poets, and writers dedicated to lifting the human spirit through the arts. So with that in mind, I'd like to welcome you to our program, Inspiring Women in Exhibitive Arts and Letters. This joining of visual arts with prose and poetry has been an exciting and unique experience for all our members. It all began with a committee selected to work with Lisa McDermott, director and curator of the Carnegie Arts Center. Planning was crucial, with our president, Lynn Hansen, stepping in wherever she was needed. Deadlines were set, the art and words joined and displayed, and a lovely catalog made. We pulled it off, ladies. Thank you, everyone, for your hard work. So let's begin. Each writer will come up today to read their poetic interpretation of a piece of artwork that captured their imagination. And I will start with my first two readings. Okay. And my reading is called Breathe In, and it was inspired by Sally Ruddy's watercolor on canvas in her garden. She breathes in the alchemy of her garden. The sensual fragrance of the coral roses combined with the sharper scent of green leaves transports her to a time of youthful passions, when no dream was unattainable, no love unrequited. Her flesh is covered in scent as she sinks into memories of past joys. Hidden from her is a daddy longlegs bobbing across a leaf pad on his 8 skinny legs. He thrives as she does in this garden of magic and mystery. Heated by the sun, the rose petals slowly unfold, sending out more intoxicating treasures. Romantic musk, fruity heart notes of pear, grape, and citrus, or the pleasant fragrance of fresh tea. Her mood changes with the perfume in her garden. When the flowers are fully opened, her backward thoughts return to the present. She breathes in again, gathering her fulfilled dreams and cherished loved ones into her mature heart. Okay, and the second one is Goodbye, Farewell, and this was inspired by Sally Ruddy's Oil on Canvas, Summer's End. Goodbye, farewell. A multitude of coos, honks, chirps, and buzzing moves along a cooling breeze, a concert performed at summer's end. As the days grow shorter, nothing will hold these flyers back, not the plump sweet corn or the pomegranates holding jewels of fruit inside their tough skins. Not even the clusters of deep purple grapes and the last sunflowers of summer. Their mission is set. Some will go underground or hide under a rotting leaf until spring, while others will fly away to southern parts. And there will be those who will die, like the bees, dragonflies, and mature butterflies, but not before scattering their eggs for the next generation. The geese puff their feathers and flap their wings. Doves soar overhead. A twittering hummingbird won't be left behind. They will be back when the violets of spring bloom again. Goodbye, farewell.
I'm Lynn Hansen, and this piece was the one piece that was actually painted in response to the poem. So all of the rest of them were done writing in response to the piece of art, but this was the one that was different. It's called Coso Petroglyphs. In Renegade Canyon, images appear simple, hammered into patina of basalt rock fabric by shamans, weathered, graven. Stick figures wearing ceremonial costumes, geometrical patterns, medicine bags, antelope, scorpion, snake, desert, bighorn sheep, emerge and disappear with slant of light, as if carved in black velvet. Each design embodies mystery, vision quest revelation, tribal boundary marker, hunting magic. But in this desert stillness, I hear rock strike on rock, a working rhythm, an absolute focus of ancient artists that ricochets along canyon gallery. Feel shivers of reverence as I walk back in time, listening. This is in response to Anne Williams Bailey's cast paper sculpture called Bearing Up. The title of the poem is Bearing Up. Stooped by this load, together we support our burden like furniture. Our backs a sturdy table, legs braced by determination. Our task looms over us, but does not diminish us. Unlike the task of Sisyphus, ours is not punishment, it is meaningful. A collaboration of effort, responsibility we bear without fear or frustration. Nothing is glamorous or heroic about our work, our job ordinary. Its heft light as paper, buoyed up by love's tenacity.
I'm Louise Counts, and I wrote in response to Henrietta Sparkman's acrylic and mixed media entitled Illusion of Safety. The title of my poem is Where We Live. 1. Crack house. Decaying like the smokers in its alcoves, like their skin, teeth, nostrils, clothes. These walls inhale and exhale the poison of those at their most discouraged, their least buoyant, hopeful, enlightened. 2. Gated community. Wrought iron and coiffed landscaping surround facades built for retreat. Features a community app, San Diego Weather, which can be exchanged for another if the rainbow malfunctions or thunder rattles a dual-paned window. 3. Tract neighborhood. Sweet and telling touches, turquoise bird feeder, easement of trees, stone and wood gates line up next to chain-link fences, a rusty car frame, debris, a coexistence of homey and worn out, refuge and prison, real and unreal. This is also Henrietta Sparkman's, this is an acrylic plein air painting entitled Headlands, and I titled my poem Headlands as well. In World War I, the soldiers learned not to make noise, no matter how bad the wound. But the horses, knowing only fear and pain, writhed in agony, cried out their terror. 'Tis a pitiable sight to see a collapsed horse. Without swift medical intervention and tender hands, he might never again rise. The Headlands formation in Monterey, a collage of nature, shows the horse giving, as he has for centuries, to those who use him to forge a path for themselves, a monument of his valiance and devotion.
I'm Nancy Haskett, and I wrote my poems in response to two of Carol David's pastels. And her first pastel, Touch of Gold, goes with my poem, which I called North Yuba. There is power in a river like this one, born of Sierra Nevada snowfall. It bends, widens, plunges into canyons, past ponderosa pines, black oaks. The Yuba sustained native Californians, lured miners with the promise of gold nuggets, and still nurtures this valley today as it roars and sings over granite bedrock, entices us with the rocks it carries. Like thousands of uncut jewels, flattened ovals, heart shapes, round and speckled like robin's eggs, muted grays, tans, multicolored striations, polished and refined over time. We spend hours hunting over banks and beds, choosing the best to bring home, spray with clear gloss to simulate a natural shine and wetness, display in bowls and baskets. When I pick them up, roll them around in my hands, rub them with my fingers, I marvel at the strength of water, the time it takes to smooth such rough edges, the persistence of a river. And the second acrylic by Carol is called Awesome Aspens, and my poem is entitled Autumn Burning. In November, Sierra Nevada forests celebrate the end of fire season with a conflagration of color. Burnt orange, blazing red, incandescent yellow leaves flare and flash, an explosion of brilliance against a backdrop of evergreens, a showy performance for an intimate audience now that summer crowds have vanished. The paved path through the meadow leads to a bridge over water that trickles around exposed granite boulders, no longer a deafening roar. During this annual interlude, there is a stillness. A quiet breeze floats a kaleidoscope of bright leaves that swirl, fall, crunch beneath our feet, turn to ashes. Thank you.
My name is Henrietta Sparkman, and in my work I've tried to meld both the written work along with the art together. Who you are. I slept with disappointment, woke with words in my head. I am a forethought who fills my heart and soul, not an afterthought of your forgetfulness and convenience. I am not a French laundry, nor a masseuse, needing feeling who cleanses your words from the mask of your exterior, the presence of a well-crafted shell of success. I am a friend who makes time to listen to the words from the veneer of a man, afraid to feel, frozen in the past, hostage to fear, failure of real feelings buried deep inside, busy with the details of the day to conceal the hurt that clenches your soul. You run through life, afraid to know who you are and feel life again. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lisa Brooke. I wrote 2 poems in response to 2 artworks by Linda Gordon Sawyer. This is the first one, viscosity etching, entitled A Game. My poem is also entitled A Game. The players are the genders, races, religions, countries that cling tightly to our spinning planet Earth. The object of the game is to circle hand in hand and show respect, equality, fairness, justice. They lose their grip and falter, are overtaken by greed, discrimination, grudges, and oppression. The hand of their Creator continues to hold them up with a never-ending hope for love and peace. The second one is a monoprint entitled Winter Wind, and my poem is also entitled Winter Wind. The whistling wind is sweeping down across the field below her house. The fallen leaves are swirling round on muted tones of barren land. She sits beside the window now, worried the limbs of trees will fall, and thinks of days so long ago when trees were small and she was young. She knows the wind will slow and stop. She knows that spring will come again, and the landscape will be renewed, and she will stay in life's winter.
I'm Roberta Bearden, and I was paired with Yvonne Porcella. Her first piece here is a fiber entitled Shadow, and my poem is entitled Shadows of Granny's Quilt. The quilt covered my child's bed, a collage of colors evocative of my childhood. I remember my granny sitting at an old quilt frame that hung from 2 eye bolts fastened into the ceiling of her house. It was a time of family sharing as needles wound in and out like the road we traveled through desert sand to visit her. The quilt was a chronicle of her life, the fabric with the large pink rose she wore on her 50th anniversary. The black square with small red roses was worn to my grandpa's funeral. 2 pieces were from quilts that graced her marriage bed, before becoming tattered and torn from the jumping of 8 children. I read the quilt like a diary, telling my stories. All my children listen and remain silent. And my second one is to her headwaters, which is also a fiber, and it's entitled Mari's Valley. The door opens onto a beautiful starry night, sky not hampered by city lights and city noise. This was her park, her granite walls. She loved it here, summer, winter, fall, and spring. In the distance, a coyote howls. Bears roam looking for unsecured food among the campsites. Under her feet, sand crunched when she walked beside the Merced River, and waterfalls sang a lullaby. She invited friends to visit her, stay a few days, share poetry written about this beautiful valley. Each morning she explored the granite passages, searching always for the headwaters.
Hello, I am Cleo Griffith, and I wrote my poems to the work of Suzanne Stout. And the first one is entitled Blue Me. And if I remember correctly, it's a digital 2D work, which I'm not sure I understand. So, but it's great. I love her work. I'm such a fan. Blue Me. Oh, this blue sky is not mine. Mine is gray and dingy like my skin, my thoughts, my future. How I would love to once again believe my heart was a balloon, could rise to creamy clouds, all pink tinged and soft. My life, like Hamlet's, is an unweeded garden gone to seed, and fie on it, say I too. This was not the plan, to grow old. In youth's brief time, youth seemed forever. How cruel. How hard I fight, present these bright red lips as though to kiss, leave my imprint on each human, each spring daffodil, my teary eyes behind glasses that hide us from each other. Damn, I hate the skin that crinkles, the scowl that at this moment I am deepening in my pain. Now, look, a bird has approached from the nearby cypress. Does it bear a secret of the evergreen? Perhaps its rippling song will cheer me, explain to me there is life after youth. But I don't believe it. I don't. I won't. I can't. My second piece, I love this picture, is Dragging the Rain. I entitled this the same as her artwork. Again, the crooked man and the elder dog pass unseen outside my window. He irritates me, dragging the rain across my horizon again. Yet, I watch for him every day, see the stars that used to twinkle when he approached, the spring that always bloomed as I stood in anticipation. It angers me that so soon he has lost himself, aged in front of our eyes. He should have been golden always. I would cry, but I must not be sentimental. I just wish one day he would not turn the white clouds gray with his defeated stoop. Yet, if he does not pass by, my day will be even darker.
My name is Vijay Vogelsang, and I have written poems that accompany Chela Gonzalez's artwork. And the first one is Pre-Sunset Hornet. The aircraft carrier jets out at you to show its spirit in World War II. It recovered the first men to walk on the moon. Its bombers' raid on Japan was a boon. Open now for the public to tour, to learn of its purpose is what it's for. The hornet's sting has come to cease. The sun sets and it rests in peace. This is the second one by Chela, Emergence. I was miserable when I wore the dress. It was as though a dark shade dropped before me. It wasn't ugly, it was pretty. Organdy, a fine transparent fabric, high waistline, tucks on the bodice, puff sleeves, Peter Pan collar. Looked like it should on a child of 6. I was 13. I wore it willingly, albeit painfully. It was a present from my father. He shopped for it, wrapped it, tied a bow. I never told him how I felt. I never told anyone. When I was old, I opened the shade, and it dawned on me that he just wanted to keep me his little girl.
Hi, I'm Jenny Chadwick, and I wrote poems inspired by Linda Marie Prather. First one is called Rose. Summer, my favorite time of the year. Lots of gay, happy parties. I had such a wonderful time, all the bright lights, loud music, everyone dancing. My feet are tired, my head is buzzing. Oh, how wonderful it is to sit in my quiet little room, sipping nice warm tea. Will I ever see that handsome man I danced with again? He called me his Rose. Did he know my name really was Rose, or did he just like my beautiful Rose? The second one by Linda Marie Prather is called Arizona Ghost, and it's a mono print. Arizona Ghost. The morning desert air is dry. I feel a great thirst and wipe my brow. The sun hides behind soft blue clouds, but soon a great heat will emerge. The mountains are shifting and colors blend. The green cactus stands firm against a great sandstorm, with prickly spines sharp and deadly. Enjoying a day's trek through this lovely desert, senses heightened, well aware of its hidden dangers.
Hello, I'm Linda Marie Prather, and I wrote my poem, Dream Home, to this collage I did called Dream Home. The rooster crows for the new day, and there she is, looking cross-eyed as an alien, holding her pet for good luck. She's been waiting and looking months for her dream home. It's dry, real dry out there in homeowner's wasteland, the place where all those bad loans wound up. She's trying to get her hands on a short sale or a repo before the crippling economy crawls back. Wonders, will the bank ever release those delinquent properties? She sits on an abandoned couch backside of this desert, while visions of castles dance in her head, longing to navigate the path, climb the stairs that lead to the doorway of her dreams. Giving God a list and watching the clock, she wants to slip her toes into the cool water of a swimming pool, sink a putt on the front lawn, last hole of the golf course. Chickens cluck and strut on the brick wall. A good omen? In the distance, music plays, trumpets sound. Surely it won't be long now. Thank you.
I'm Linda Gordon Sawyer. I chose to do a haiku for Linda Knowles' a beautiful painting, Morning Shadows. Morning shadows fall over snowy banks, through dark woods. There, the perfect tree. It reminded me of going up to the Twainhart Tree Farm and bounding out of the car and once in a great while finding snow on the ground. This is a rosebud at Windsor Palace, a haiku. A flash of ruby, like petals in a rosebud, England's long history. I'll read it again because it's so short and I want it to be up there for a minute. A flash of ruby, like petals in a rosebud, England's long history. Thank you.
My name is Calder Low, and I've written 2 poems in response to 2 mixed media pieces by Claudia Silva-Dew. The first is entitled Blackbird Fly, Blackbird Fly. Encircled in frost and moon's glow, shackled by the past, you are destined to fly to the highest branches of the evergreens, to bask in reflected light until you fly toward the sun. May those who lack freedom in their lives witness your fierce spirit and beauty as you rise as a feathered talisman to a sky peeling from the horizon. The second poem bears the same title as her mixed media piece, Birds in Burberry Bush. Birds flit as clandestine operatives across the countryside, playing telephone with impunity. They shapeshift in plain sight while occupying negative space, are receptive to elemental truths. Alighting on their beaks, sinewed resilience, often disguised as translucent dew. They triumph over mounded earth, fog, torrential rains, thorns, and sea foam. I, likewise, preen my feathers and befriend the wind.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to us. And now be free to help yourself to the refreshments and go along and look along the corridors for all the art and prose. Thank you.